Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to AVX Live. I'm Joe Gilderson, President of Corporate Audio Visual Services. And honestly, this is the first show of 2025. So welcome back. This has been 4 years going now. So it's been a little bit. But like anything, coming out of the holidays, there's always a whole bunch of things to do. And we've been pretty busy over here. So I wanted to get into a new topic today, which is going to be about how we can discuss how to use LED walls and maybe see if that's a fit for your next event. But before we do that, let's just remind everybody how you can find us. Okay, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. While you're on any of those channels, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Of course, if you're watching live, drop a comment, be a part of the show. I'll just make up an answer, just to keep the show moving. And look, if you missed this one, just go back. You can see any of the other 119 episodes on our YouTube page. And afterwards, usually Alexis is going to come up with some sort of witty clip, and we'll put that on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. But let's just get right into this thing. So we're going to talk about LED. And I think the first thing that people think of when they think of LED is Times Square. And that's one of the things that I usually use as an example right away as well is, hey, Times Square is LED. It's one of the few things you can actually see during the day. And in their case, of course, it looks stunning and it's been a trademark forever. But what about other places? How about concerts? Concerts were really one of the first adapters in the event production side to use LED. What about the Grammys and all the award shows, right? They're all using LED at this point. It looks amazing. But does it have to be something big? I don't know, but let's take a look at some other different ways to use LED. Now, because when I look at those events, those aren't really what we work on. But let's try to think creatively here, right? So I was just in Orlando about a week ago visiting one of my good friends, Pete. Hello, Pete. And we were down there, and it was in the airport, and actually saw two amazing uses of LED. Let me show you those right now. So one of them was actually basically an art exhibit that was in the round. It was very big. If you can see the size of the person there, it's probably about 25 feet tall, and maybe it was about 20 or so feet wide. But there was three of them, and they actually had video walls on the outside and the inside. And then there was sound on the inside. So when you were inside the little circle there, you were being surrounded by video and music as well. It was really a very cool installation. Then as I walked down towards it was in the JetBlue terminal, there was what I wasn't sure. At first I thought, oh, maybe it was some sort of painting. It was not a painting. So these three large pieces here are actually video. And in this case, there was a scene that was showing, a very pretty, forest, I guess we'll call it, with a lot of colors, and it looked amazing. But if you turned away and then looked back again, it actually became, an airplane taking off from the runway. It was really very cool. And again, the scale of it was very large. But those are things that are kind of, again, a little different than what we do because they're permanent. Those are really temp to perm solutions that are going to live there. In our case, a lot of the things we build come down very shortly afterwards. So let's take a look at some different ways that, we probably see LED being used. So we hold a training session every year in the end of the summer, which is called Pirate University. And that's a completely free training from entry-level technicians all the way up to the most seasoned veterans. And so while we're going through all that training on technology and different services and customer service and project management, as we're going through all those things, we have to showcase technologies. In this case, this was one of the first time we had LED at Pirate University, and that was in 2019. So what you're looking at on the right-hand side there's some curved edges, there's some separate pieces. That was a really cool brand that we were using, and we had a lot of flexibility and capability. So we wanted to look kind of like have like a beehive type of look. To the left of it is actually projection. And that shows you how much brighter the LED can be. So that's one of the first ways. We used it as a stage backdrop. And pretty much every year we've used it as some sort of stage backdrop, but we've also shown video. We've put all sorts of graphics to go on, and we've even put slides. But it's been now a part of our training for the last few years. Different brands, they assemble slightly differently. The control is a little different. So, we have to go through the education process. Here's where we used that same wall in 2019, but for actual content. Looked really cool. Now, all of those are actually ground supported. They're built from the ground, which means you can use them anywhere. In this wall, which we just built recently, this is about 16 feet long. It's at least 10 feet high. This is a little bigger. So in this case, we actually hung it there's a girder up there, which honestly assembles 10 times quicker because these things do take some time to build. I'm going to show you a clip of what they look like in just a little bit. But how about other ways that people can use them, right? Branding. Think branding, because most of these bigger kind of shows you're seeing, people are using them mainly as some sort of, we'll call it wallpaper or branding. In this case, here's our friend Marsha Gordon with the Business Council of Westchester, and they used it as a wall for all of their content, because in this case, there was a series of exhibitors. And this wall stood out. It's so much brighter than everything else in the room. It looks amazing. Let's go down the line. Here's other ways we can use it. What if you don't want to do a step and repeat? You want to have something that's much more visual and stunning, and that could be changed. Here's a good way to use it. Let's move forward. What if you had a room where there's a lot of chandeliers or there's a low ceiling, right? This is another application for an LED wall. In this case, the walls themselves are probably still 4 times bigger than the largest TV. And that makes a big difference if you're actually showing content. And this happens to be a big room. This is the Rockley in just over the line in New Jersey, but it's a good size room and it's for 500 people. So you need to be able to see, and you need something bigger. We have another case. This is how that's set up, but this was built from the ground up, which means we could put it anywhere. And I think that's really the important part. We go to see our friends at the New York Botanical Garden. They have 3 large chandeliers. So if you wanted to have a screen directly behind where people are going to present, it's a little difficult. In this case, we used LED to solve that. It was a much bigger screen we could use, and they could walk right in front of it. It's not like projection where you'd have a shadow on the back wall. You're not going to have that with this. This is self-contained. And just to give you a sense of what it actually looks, that's the finished product there. But when we're building it, it's like a series of jigsaw pieces, a rompecabezas, right? It's a jigsaw puzzle that each one of those gets connected. So in that case, there were 60 of those that we were putting together for the bigger wall. But what if you wanted to make a different shape, right? Because these have a lot of flexibility. That's why those concert walls and the Grammys and Times Square, they can be all different shapes. It's not like a projection screen or a TV, which are always in a 16:9 ratio. This isn't. It can be built out to whatever you want. So what if you used it as a banner? Something to consider. We made a fun little clip for a friend of ours, and we wanted to use it just like that, just as a banner. But now it's a banner that can change visually. So you can use it for content. You could use it if there was a new sponsor. You could do almost anything with it because it's another piece of video. The one thing you have to do is make it the right size. So your content has to fit it. Otherwise, there's some scaling that goes into it, meaning that the shape might be adjusted a little. But what if you turned it a different way? What if you made it a vertical column? In this case, this is one of our clients that was kind of looking at different options. So we wanted to show them that. What if you wanted to make it just something that highlights things a little differently? Just some moving graphics. Maybe there's words, maybe there's a logo, whatever you want to do with it. The idea is to open your mind to think about how you could use this differently. Because anything with movement in general is more interesting. And that's the advantage of using something like this. I'm telling you, when you see the video, it looks stunning. Now, most of these, it's not designed to be right on top of it. But if your guests are 30 feet away, 20 feet away, it looks incredible. What if you wanted to use it to put, I don't know, your 4 presenters or honorees up on screen? Look at these fine, handsome men up here. What if you just wanted something to go to for your entertainment or for a dinner break or for a lunch break? Like, you could have some stunning graphics up there. It doesn't even have to say anything and it will look amazing. Because again, there's movement, there's color, it's something exciting. It might be something that they haven't seen. And I think ultimately that's one of the reasons to use a tool like this is you're trying to stand out. You're trying to make your event look a little bit different. In this case, of course, we have the matrix up on the LED walls. But again, if this was a financial conference, if this was a tech conference, people would probably find it interesting. What if their logo was moving all around from tile to tile? It's just one more thing you can do. These are all just options, right? And that's the idea is I think people get stuck into one way of thinking. But in this case, you can change the shapes. You can use it as a backdrop. People can walk in front of it. It can work in venues that maybe there'd be some challenges, either with ceiling height or chandeliers, or you just need something larger than a TV screen. Because again, you don't have to worry about projection. Projectors shoot light through the air, and so they pretty much have to go straight across for the most part from wherever the screen is. And if that's a crowded dinner, it gets pretty tough. LED wall, like this kind of thing, you really only need about 4 feet of space. So it works out really well. But especially if you want to use it as wallpaper, patterns, backgrounds, branding, maybe you could get some additional sponsors. You're giving them more airtime via video. These are all things to consider. And that's really the purpose of today. Give you some new ideas and new ways to look at LED. So if there's anything we can help out with, you let us know. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this show up. Let's see if I can get all my buttons ready to go. So remember, you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. You may want to share this. I mean, this is so good, you may want to share it. But if you don't, then, look, go back to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find some sort of short clips. Maybe something will be intelligent out of that. But look, thank you, everyone. We appreciate you guys. You're going to have a great day. It's time for me to go. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.